Live stream started. Recording is starting. It's all yours. Chris, call me if you need to. Thanks.
All right, look, as I go through these.
Oh, we gotta open it.
I'm sorry. As I go through these licenses, I'd like to put them up on the screen while I go through them.
Well, that's me.
That's you?
That's me.
Okay.
But state the time and which committee and what today's date is.
This is the Economic Development Committee. April 19th, 2023. And we're starting the meeting at 7:30 p.m. We have 3 guests. Well,
Hold on a
2
second.
guests.
Or, yeah.
And well, we got how many of our committees here? Joanne's here, I am here.
You're here, Joanne's here, Veronica's here, Strato is excused, and Harry's here. So
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so we got a quorum.
Okay.
All right, so let's get it started. I don't know who you are.
He's a
Yeah.
committee member. I mean, a board member.
I know, but I can't remember your name.
Miguel.
Miguel. Miguel, welcome aboard. So the first place we're gonna look at are the renewals. And the first one is Cafe Colonial Restaurant, 2070 White Plains Road. And they're looking for a full license. Tell you what I know about them, because it's about the only one I know something about, but they've been in business for many, many years. Right now, they're renovating. They have a small outdoor cafe setting. I've been in there several times. And over the years, and they run a very good and clean business. Now, anybody have any questions or comments?
So I guess they never had any, there are no problems with the 49th?
Well-
Or any complaints or anything like that?
Is that the one that's on the
That-
corner of Brady? And
Yeah.
It's not gonna already. It's
Right
a
on the
really nice
corner.
place. There's never any problems there.
It's a big, I've been in there, like I said, several times. It's a well-run establishment inside and out. So I don't think there's any problem with that at all. They've invested a tremendous amount of money in there. Good staff, good food. The next one, so let's make a motion that we have no objection to Cafe Colonial Restaurant.
I'll second.
Second by Joanne.
Joanne, are you taking notes, please?
No, I have no pen. If you need me to do that, I'll have to go somewhere else. Okay.
We kind of need you to do that.
Okay, let me go.
Yeah,
I'll
because
let me
you're
go
on the
and grab-
committee.
What?
You're on the committee. I'm not on this committee.
Okay, let me go. Let me get, oh, Jesus. Okay, I'll be right back. My God.
Now I'll make a small confession to you. My computer's been down. I don't have this information. Some of it. Okay.
Wait, Joanne's not back yet.
Jeremy, are you there?
No.
No.
What are we waiting for?
Joanne was
am
getting
not-
a pen. Okay.
I need a pen and paper.
All right, we have to take the minutes.
Okay, I'm looking at, yeah, I have the agenda, so that's helpful. Okay. All
Are you
right,
ready, Joe?
I ready.
So you second the motion?
Uh-huh. I second the motion.
All in favor of the motion? 1, 2.
Aye.
We're not committee.
Well, that's right. Okay, it's just you and me.
I know, and
Yeah, I'm good.
Veronica,
I'm good with it.
You good with it?
any
Yeah.
discussion?
No,
Oh, that's good. Okay.
And if-
not the renewal, the new liquor license we should discuss.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be interesting.
That's real interesting.
Okay.
Okay, so you passed the motion for that?
We did, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Our next renewal is La Paranda
Okey doke.
Bar Restaurant at 2712 White Plains Road. Sort of a corner place. They do have food. That whole corner has been there for many years. And we've never had any problems with them. I don't know if there's any reports from the board. I'll have to find that out when we look at the reports from the board. But
I'm right here, Joe. It's Chris.
Oh, you're right here.
No problem
You-
whatsoever with them.
Okay, and Cafe
get them.
Colonial.
We gave them a temporary, if you remember, they had an agreement with us. They kept the agreement very well until one that we extended, and now they are fully open until up to whatever the law requires.
Okay, Chris.
So
So do we
Chris,
have any problem? Do
No.
we have any problems at all with La Paranda?
I say no,
No, board wise, police wise?
no.
Okay.
I had no complaints whatsoever for them.
so Chris, with the temporary license, why was that given? Did they need stipulations? Because.
No, it wasn't a temporary license. We gave a stipulation long time ago because they had an issue. If you remember
Oh.
the incident where a person was killed over there.
Okay,
And the stipulation was during the time that, may rest in peace, Dominic,
Castori.
no.
No?
Ciano, Dominic Ciano.
Cristiano?
Dominic Ciano was alive and he was the head of the committee.
Oh, that's a
So-
while ago, yeah.
Yeah, so they were very good for 1 year, no incidents whatsoever. So once that happened, they put it in for extending of time. The extension of time was, of course, approved and it's done.
Good.
Oh, that's good. And I live not too far from there, and I remember that killing, stabbing. And but since then, I've seen no problems there, and a whole new type of clientele. So I have no problems with it. So I make a motion that we have no problems with this location.
I'll second again if.
Here we
So
go.
you make a motion to send a letter of no objection to the state liquor authority regarding this renewal liquor license. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now we go to new liquor licenses. Now, like I said, I confess my
So
I
Joe, we gotta ask if there's any objections or any abstentions before we move on with the motion.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, if any objection or abstentions.
Oh,
which we know
abstentions,
of.
yeah. I'm sorry. Any objections or abstentions from either of these two locations?
Nope.
Nope, I'm good.
Nope. Okay,
No,
now we've got 3 new liquor licenses, actually 4.
No,
Yeah, because he just came in.
no, he's B.
Oh, he's B, that's right.
He's B. So I think we should, in all fairity, skip to B first because he's
He's
present
here.
here.
Yeah,
Ah.
let's start with B. Good point. Red Fair Lounge, 1480 Mace Avenue.
Right here.
Yeah, sit over here.
Sit, yeah.
so you can see and speak.
Oh, please.
Nice to hear.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Okay, we just had a conversation, but feel free to ask him any questions you'd like. I've already spoke to him.
Please introduce yourself to.
My name is Armando Jetia, and I'm the president of the corporation for Red Bear.
So can you repeat your name, sir, and give me the spelling of your last name?
Absolutely. First name is Armando.
Okay,
Last name is GJE, T as in Tom, JA.
okay, thank you so much. And you're the head of the corporation?
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
What's the name of the corporation?
Red
Red
Bear
Bear.
Lounge.
Okay.
What was that?
Red Bear Lounge.
Oh, Red Bear, right.
Okay, and have you ever owned a place before?
No,
Nope. First shot up.
not in this country. I've been manager back in Europe, in Italy, where I grew up.
Oh, in Italy.
Alright.
Cool.
How many owners are part of this? How many principals?
Just me.
Just you?
Yes.
How many employees will you have?
Or projected or
Projected.
projected, probably no more than 4.
And you serve liquor,
Liquor,
wine, beer?
correct.
And what are your hours?
Hours are gonna be 7 a.m. to midnight
Every day?
every day.
7 a.m. to midnight. Do you have music?
No, I have background music. I have 4 speakers that are installed in the corners of the front room,
Mhm.
but no live or anything else.
How about security?
Security, unless in the future I plan to make an event, but no, I do not have security. There is not gonna be security.
Okay. So you don't have a metal detector at the door or?
I'm not planning to make parties,
Okay.
so that's why closing at midnight.
How many people will your establishment hold?
There's 25 seats, including bar stools, and I will say 25. Like if you really want to squeeze another 5 people and make it 30, but I think it's about 25 people.
Okay. Questions?
So from Harry, so it's open to the public. It's not a social club or nothing like that, right?
No, it's not. It's not.
Thank you.
Is this near the Casa d'Oro? Is that
Correct.
the establishment right next to Casa d'Oro?
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So right there. Food wise, you told me, but tell them. What type of food you have and how you prepare it.
The type of food, we're not gonna have a kitchen in the back, so there's not gonna be no prepping from scratch. It's gonna be, let's say, imported. And we are planning to do croissants in the morning, cookies, anything sweet that goes with cappuccinos, cafes, any coffee product. And at night, because it's also a requirement from the State Liquor Authority, most likely pizza, charcuterie board, and anything that we can prepare with an air fryer or a microwave.
Do you have any kind of alarms?
Alarms, fire alarm.
Yeah.
Yes, security, about 8 cameras that have been installed and use security system. And all the fire extinguishers on all the emergency exits are in place.
How many exits do you have?
There is only one entrance and one exit is the front.
So
There
that's
is
it.
there is no back door, there is no basement.
Okay. And your door opens from inside, opens out?
Yes,
Does-
correct.
Anybody got any other further questions?
Is Cynthia allowed to ask? She's a board member, but not a committee member. Is Cynthia allowed to?
Oh, she can ask a question, sure.
Cynthia,
I think he answered most of the questions.
okay, because I see your hand raised.
Yeah, no, I'll bring it down.
Thank you.
Okay. Well,
Joe, I have a
Go
couple
ahead.
of questions.
after
You
what-
said you're not gonna have anybody at the door. So are you gonna have a scanner there or somebody checking to make sure that people are over 21?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm gonna have to make sure at the bar, especially in at the entrance that they are 21 and older.
And it said, you're gonna have a sidewalk cafe on the application?
Yes,
So that's gonna be how many seats in front?
that's including the 25 seats
That's
total,
including-
yes.
And it said also a patio, because there's only a little area where there's a construction company next to you. Are you planning on using that for a patio?
That is not mine, somebody else owns it and rents.
Okay,
the
so then
whole
there'll be no
patio.
patio then.
No, it's not mine, I do not.
Okay, so
Yes, I do not
because
rent.
you put a little mark in the patio section that you'd have a patio, that's why.
Well, the balcony patio, probably, it hasn't been filed, it's been filed with, by me with my lawyer, but by patio, I mean the same
The side-
balcony,
the
the
sidewalk.
sidewalk.
Okay, so it'll be a step up then,
Yes.
okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, I think everybody's satisfied.
Mhm.
I got one question.
Go
Is
ahead.
there any back door at all? Just the
No.
front and that's it?
No,
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask one? quickly?
Sure.
So what is I used to own bars, so I know how
I'm sorry.
horrible, I used to own bars, so I know how horrible it can be to answer all those questions. But what is it fire rated for your amount of people on the inside?
What is
So
it?
you're saying 25 altogether, including the patio?
Including the patio is 25 people, everybody sitting down, that's the amount of seats that I have.
Okay, but what's your capacity from the FDNY?
It cannot go past 30,
Okay. 30.
And that's inside and out or?
Inside and out.
just
including
inside?
including
Including
everything,
outside.
yes.
Okay. It's a good question. Okay, so I make a motion that we have no objection to this application moving forward. Anybody all in favor? All
Well,
in
you
favor?
need to second.
I second.
Okay. All right, any objections, any abstentions? Hearing none?
Nope.
Okay, we're fine. You want to stay around and watch the rest of the meeting or because you're
If
finished?
I can just add anything and say something of mine,
Go ahead.
I've been into this kind of business for a long time. In Italy, my first activity is something different. I'm a professional athlete, but I've been working on the side to fund myself for what I'm doing. So I spent quite some years, about 10, 12, so right now, doing this from cafes to clubs and discos. When I first got the chance to look at it, I know the place has been run as a social in the past. I've done my own research. I've been nothing but afraid for many reasons. My goal is to bring something to the community.
Appreciate that.
And definitely lead it. The same way I'm acting towards my sport and my passion, I want to do the same thing with a cafe. I'm big on it. And my espresso culture is, by growing up in Italy, coffee to me is life. So with that,
I hate
Oh,
coffee.
espresso.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
he's gonna have espresso and cappuccino. Oh dear, that's great.
Cynthia, do you have your hand raised?
Yes, I
Again?
do. I do. I
Okay.
do. Hi, Armando. This is Cynthia. I'm one of the board members. And I don't know if you answered this question already, but when is your anticipated like opening day?
I do not have one planned. I was waiting to have this meeting first to be present, and then most likely I'm gonna start with how can I say that? Like an event with
Oh. an
opening the
opening.
doors to the community where they can come and taste and try coffee and all the coffee products that we can make with the espresso machine, and our selection of juices and water and all the products that we have, and present ourselves. But it's probably going to happen in, I will give it a week, 10 days.
Okay.
2 weeks maybe.
Like a soft opening?
There's no members. I'm the only
You're
one.
in?
I'm the only one. Yes.
Okay, I have nothing else.
Okay.
You've already been approved, but
You're
Thank
gonna
you.
approve
Thanks,
a
everybody.
committee, then it's gonna go to the full board. in a
No,
couple
no,
of months,
of course.
and
I
then-
know it goes from steps to steps. So I'd rather I prefer doing it like this. I truly believe that it's like compound interest. It's like slowly but surely, and you build up your monthly.
well, you can come to the
appreciate it.
general meeting if you want to be there in case there's any questions or any objections. Because we do have to vote on this
Yeah.
as a general board, but you're quite welcome to come.
Absolutely. If I can write it down.
Somebody give him
It's next,
the date of our next meeting.
it's next, Thursday. Yeah,
It's
next,
gonna be April 27, 7 PM at Maestro's.
thank you, Chris.
No problem.
27. Maestros.
So,
7 p.m. Okay. Perfect. Well, then, thank you so much. And I will let you proceed with the rest of the.
Okay, thanks for coming in.
Am I pretty
Good
good?
luck.
Thanks so much and good luck to you.
And good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Was refreshing. Okay, our next one is Cafe, La Casa del Mofongo. My wife would like that. House of the Mofongo.
It's not even built yet.
Hmm?
It's not even built
Yeah,
yet.
it is.
I mean, it's an old TGI Fridays, but nothing's been done inside yet.
Oh, is that where it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's right near Aldi's.
Have you
Oh,
been there?
It's not open yet. They just have coming soon, and that's it. It's
That's it.
that coming soon sign's been there for months.
That, they started working in that, passed by the other day.
I
They
passed
started
by the
doing-
other day too. I didn't see anything
I
outside.
went, matter of fact, it was Monday when I passed by there. They were doing construction inside. They didn't let me in, but they were doing construction.
Okay.
Okay.
I was only on Gun Hill Road, so I
It
didn't.
used to be another restaurant somewhere
Right, it used
else.
to be TGI Friday.
No. It used to be the restaurant, La Casa del Mofongo used to be somewhere else. That's why it's
Oh,
supposed
in Inwood.
It's in the
they
heights,
gotta
in the
change.
heights. It's in the heights.
There's one on 207th Street in Inwood.
Exactly.
oh,
So
It's
probably.
it's
so
the same
probably they-
people?
Do you
Yeah.
know if this is the same owner as the one in Inwood?
It has to be. It has to be. They
I
can't
don't
be the
know.
same
I mean,
name.
I've sent them an email to fill up our application. What's it called? The questionnaire. Haven't gotten.
They fill out the application?
No,
I'll-
the
If
application.
you look,
Gotta be on the application.
I see.
yeah,
Put it on.
if you look
it's gotta be in there.
on the link, that it's the applications are now linkable.
Yes, so you can show it up on the screen if you want.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm about to share it.
Ah, here it is. I'm looking on my phone.
So, quick question, isn't this the second time that this application's being heard?
I think it was tabled the last time.
This is the second time it was.
We tabled it.
presented.
It's
they're
already
still-
a month past, so I think
And they're still not here to answer questions?
it's
No,
nothing to go about questions. We postponed it because remember, guys, you're supposed to do a visit and so on and so forth.
yeah, I'd like to,
I think
I'd like
we
to
should
table-
postpone it
I'd like
again.
to Table this, for the full board.
You cannot do it any longer. It's been received from us on March 13. Today we're April 19, already a month. They already probably got the liquor license, either we're gonna say anything or not.
Why are we even talking about it then?
Because it's 30-day notice, remember?
Yeah, but you said they probably got the liquor license by now.
Maybe not, because 30-day notice mean 30-day
No,
notice.
is they, is,
They have to notice. Harry, can I speak, please? So I can explain and you'll know
go
about
ahead,
it?
explain it, go ahead, explain it.
Okay, So they sent it to us on March 13. It's not March 13, as you can see on the application. So they have 30 days to wait until April 13, and after that they can apply for liquor license.
Oh, okay.
All right, can I talk?
Yeah.
So that means after April 13th, they could apply for the license, they can get it without our approval or not?
So I don't know if you know how it works here. We're just, as you can see, it says here, standard notice form providing 30-day advance notice to a local municipality or community board, meaning what? The only thing they have to do legally to us is just notify. They don't have to show at all. That is the only thing legally that they can do it. For courtesy, we ask them to show up. So the gentleman before these guys was courteous enough to come and speak about whatever he wants to do. But it's not mandatory.
Yeah, but did somebody reach out to that person to see if they show up today?
We have sent the email for them to send the, what's it called?
Representative?
The questionnaire.
Run that some more. Hold it.
So live
So,
music.
so if they end up getting their liquor license and then they end up having issues, we can get them shut down, right?
Yes.
You cannot shut down nothing. You can recommend for that.
You can
We are
recommend it.
only a referral.
Well, the
They
police
don't
could shut
necessarily
down.
have to take us, they don't have to take our referral into consideration, the SLA. We send our referral to them and then they make a decision on their own. We don't have authority to shut anybody down or to actually approve anything. It's just a referral to the SLA.
We are just advisory board. We advise. We just give an advice, and that's about it.
But if there's an issue, the police could shut it down like they did with 2 places in the square, correct?
Right. So the police, you gotta understand, the
It's the
police
police
sends the report directly to SLA. If it's like, for example, minor drinking, any shooting occurs and so on and so forth, they report it directly to SLA. Then SLA takes the steps to shut them down. They send somebody. Usually, I remember when Lieutenant Hickman was around, they used to send from 49 precinct. They used to send undercover police officers or the little young kids. Used to send them over there that look a little bit more like
Oh, the
adults.
explorers?
The explorers, they used to send them inside and see if they're asked for any IDs. If they're asked for any IDs, they'll serve liquor. At the moment they serve the liquor and the person grabs it, that's when the police goes in and that's what occurs.
Chris, I got a question for you.
Mhm.
If I apply for a liquor license, right, and us as board members say, no, we don't want to approve the liquor license, can they still get the liquor license no matter what?
Yes.
So what's the purpose of so we just,
Well, I guess
I'm,
it would
I'm,
mean,
I'm really
Well,
confused.
they
I'm
take,
really,
they
really
take,
confused.
they take what we say in consideration.
But like I
can't
just said, if everybody says no, we don't want it, and they're still gonna get the license.
well, I guess if it depends on the reason. Like if we made a very good case saying, no, we don't want to give this, and we give a reason and not just no, the SLA will listen, to an extent.
Well, not
So
necessary, because we had the same issue. Remember, we had the
I
same
know,
issue
but yeah.
with one of these establishment where a person was killed about a block away. Joe, you remember that, right?
The
You know
one
what
on
I'm talking-
Boston Road in Mace?
Right, that's what I'm talking about. And
The one on White Plains Road.
No, Boston Road,
Boston
Boston
Road.
Road.
Right.
Hmm.
where the Dunkin' Donuts is now.
Right. When
Now,
we voted, actually the entire board voted no, still liquor license was given to them by SLA because they didn't find it as agreeable when it comes to the sense about why should the owner of a club be responsible for somebody getting shot about one block and a half out.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. No, they take whatever we say, they take in consideration.
Even though we're advisory, right? Even though we're advisory, they do look at it, say, why do these people say no? They do look at it.
And don't forget, everybody has a lawyer. So they'll check our information if there's a suit pending. Okay,
Cynthia, you have your hand raised for something on this?
Oh, it was kind of a procedural question because I don't know what I mean, I get that the board is only advisory, and I get that they can still get their liquor license whether or not the board approves. My question is more, how much effort are we putting in to get these people to come to these meetings? And to allow board members to do site visits, because if you can't do a site visit or just kind of get a feel for the place, then it's kind of pointless.
Well,
no,
I
we
think at
can,
this,
we can do site visits.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get this until late,
Well, I don't think they're
but
even,
we normally do site visits on
And this
everything.
place is not open yet
yeah, it's
either.
not open yet.
If it's open, or if
Yeah,
it's under
yeah.
construction, if there are people there, we do site visits. We check the Ansel systems, the doors and the way they open in or out, means of egress. So we do a lot of site visits.
So, like I said, let me repeat myself again for the new board members, so at least they can have a clear picture of how this thing work. The only thing legally they can do toward the community board or a local municipality office, it's to notify us 30 days in advance, send that. Then after that, they might not decide to show up at all because they say, hey, my legal fulfillment is done with a 30-day notice. So, like I said, if they want to come, they can come cautious. They can be part of the meeting. They can explain what they want to do, what is their future plans for that. And sometimes when we see that is a hot spot for whatever reasons, we might try to get into agreement. But again, the agreement has to be mutual, meaning that the other side can decide to say, okay, I'll sign the agreement, then stipulation, and that stipulation, after it's signed by the chair of the board and by the head of the company that the head of the establishment, that copy is sent to SLA, so SLA can be aware of it, that it's an agreement like that, a stipulation like this exists. But if they decide to say no, I don't have to sign any stipulation, that's up to SLA to decide to give the final say.
We make stipulations all the time as to hours of operation,
Correct.
for instance. So we will and we will ask for stipulations on certain issues like that, noise, hours, and we usually get stipulations to those things.
Joe, it's Joanne. I'm looking at the application, and even though they have no track record as far as problems, it does seem like there's a lot going on. They're going to have live music, disc jockey, and even their email, it says Latin events at live.com. Now, I know it's a commercial area, but that's a potential that there could be issues. So this is something that even if they get the liquor license, we have to keep an eye on. It looks like I don't know what they're, it just, without knowing them, it just seems like there's a lot going on in this particular license.
And to add salt to the wounds, if I add, it borders 49 or 47. So if something happens,
but it's
happens on the other side of the yellow line, it may get reported to the 47 and not the 49.
Deb, you bring that up so I can see the time? The times they're opening and closing?
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to show over there. It doesn't show over there.
It doesn't. It's not on there.
It's not on?
No, it's not. It's not on the 30-day notice. Doesn't show anything about opening and closing because it's automatically on the
4 a.m.
SLA will, yeah, exactly, will allow them to be open until 4 a.m.
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
No, as you may know, it's no more about.
You're gonna be doing donuts in the parking lot.
Well, see, that's what we have to keep an eye on, or the people. Even though even though it's not a really residential area, this is the area where all the loud music comes from. They usually say it's the Aldi parking lot and
But
Home
it butts
Depot.
up to it. It
What's
butts
that?
up to residential. The backside is
Yeah,
residential. It's on the,
There is,
it's on
yeah.
the other
there
side
is.
of a walkable fence.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so
be-
this has potential to be an issue, but they don't have a bad track record because they aren't open yet. So you really can't say right at this point. You can't like damn them by saying,
Right.
they have a right to open up a business to do these things. There's application that says you could do it. So, they may run it really well.
Yeah, the noise, if they make noise in excess, the noise will easily be heard in Pelham Gardens over there.
Well,
I know it.
they could make complaints at the community board, but it's definitely one of the locations that we have to monitor
Hmm.
because of all of these potential problems.
Right.
So I think we should just make that part of our report and put it in our minutes.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
I'd
Yes,
just
we
like
do.
to say, I guess kind of to let Harry know, we're talking about, our power to, object. But we also, I know for a fact that trying to get a liquor license, having had that experience 4 times, we really, really courted the local community boards and, tried to go. So just, even though it's just an advisory, role for the community board, we can also strongly recommend that the gentleman that came today is granted his license, and that is something that the SLA does look at.
I don't, we just had part of our legs cut off from the SLA. All right, because certain things we could do, we're no longer asked to do. And certain questions we used to ask, we can't always ask. So they've sort of cut off our legs pretty much in a lot of areas.
And they're cutting off the community's legs and.
Like we're concerned about 2 egresses, 2 means of egress, and the door opening out. We're concerned about those things. But unfortunately, it's not one of the things that the SLA asks us to do.
You would think they would after
think-
something like the Happy Land.
And the Ansel system and things like that. But we do them anyway. So anyway, I see no objections here.
So you make.
On the surface.
Can I just, one more point? This
Go
is
ahead.
Cynthia again. I wanted to Joanne and Debbie's point about that parking lot, because it is very easy to envision a situation where we end up with boom parties like the ones that are currently
Mhm.
taking place in the
Yep.
Target parking lot, historically in the Home Depot parking lot, which have affected the 47th, the 49th, and the 45th precincts. That sound does carry, especially in a location like that one. So I think we have to be very careful how to respond, and to Miguel's point about courting the community, the fact that these people didn't even show up to kind of make their case and ingratiate themselves leaves me with concern. Thank you.
I agree with you, Cynthia.
Yeah, we have to monitor, as I
But-
was saying before, we do have to monitor this location.
Yeah,
And,
well, we can't
we
really
do
say
have
no
a-
because they haven't done
okay.
anything,
Yeah, they haven't done anything
Oh,
now, but they have
Also,
potential to do
direct
things.
out of the mouth. Legally, we gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Because if we say we object because we think that it might, they're gonna say, hold on just a second. You're gonna go by it might. So that's why
Yeah,
guys, you gotta be
can't do that.
careful. The only thing is that you can put,
We're not gonna vote on mites. We're just
Yeah,
saying that it
exactly.
has the potential. And
you can
it's
put it,
something that we
you can put
look
it,
at.
we have no objection with reservation, yes. But other than that,
I mean, we can
It's
put in the
not strong
minute.
enough to have an objection about,
Right.
but as far as getting their license, but it is something for us to keep on our calendars to make sure that we take a look at this place from time to time.
Because they could be
Um,
invited to a future meeting of the economic development if there's an
Sure.
issue, and then you could make the stipulations. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think so.
That-
We've done it before,
that's gonna be.
as far as time is concerned.
That's gonna
Um,
because if it is approved, it's gotta be 4 AM. The only thing is that 49 precinct used to send somebody in our economic development meetings. I'm gonna try to contact again the lieutenant for operations. What used to be Hickman, that he used to send at least 2 or 3 guys, and sometimes they used to come the entire team in our office, you remember. I'm gonna try to get in contact again with, I don't know, I gotta find out who's the operations lieutenant. So at least they can send at least one person from the team to be at these meetings.
Yeah, this would be good, and not only that, it's good for them too, for their records. So,
Well,
yeah, we can do that. We can put that in our minutes.
Yep.
All right,
Joe,
Chris, I got a
is-
question for you.
Wait.
Chris,
hold on one
one
second.
second.
Ephraim,
We have Ephraim Gonzalez. Go ahead, Ephraim. Let Ephraim speak.
How you doing, everybody? What I wanted to add on what was just discussed is that you don't go on hypotheticals, but because there is an aspect of public safety concerns, the only thing I would recommend to the board, and I've been through this since the 1980s in Community Board 9 and in Community Board 4 in the 90s when I returned back from the war, is that when we are concerned about things regarding liquor licenses, and in the 1980s, I remember when the Koch administration, there used to be 5 violations and they got it down to 3 before they could pull liquor licenses even from bodegas. But if it is a concern that what could possibly be because of public safety, then I would think that maybe public safety should be included so that they can address and ask certain questions, because you never know what concerns might be that this committee may not even know, because it's not really their forte. You deal basically with the establishment. You don't deal with the surrounding community all the time. Sometimes there might be an exceptional case, but that's something that I would recommend to the board, to the committee, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we do have people coming in from the community on certain places. So the community is always welcome, and they do come to tell us their concerns.
Well, best example was about 2 meetings ago, if you remember, about Barnes Avenue, the bodega that wanted liquor
Oh,
license.
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so the people spoke up, and then we sent it an objection. I don't know if they got it or not. I can find out. I'm just curious now if they
And we
gave it,
went
but I
back-
doubt it very much.
We went back and we checked it out. We saw hazards.
Right,
I mean, it was worse than what we imagined.
right.
And we made that part of our reports.
And one of the people objecting is now the current assemblyman.
Right.
Because
Oh,
it-
right,
it-
I
across
remember
the
that
street.
meeting, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
He lives across the street, and he was having issues even before they had even applied for the license of that one.
Correct.
Well, that's a bad place anyway, with the scooters outside and the beer and,
Oh, my God.
Right.
It's a bodega type of store, not a
No.
bar.
no.
So how are we making the motion
Well, we have
for,
no objection
Yeah,
to this.
so
Yeah, so the motion is that we have no objection for this location getting their license.
is there a second?
well, I object.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Okay, second by Joanne. Any objections?
I object.
Okay.
Harry objects.
Harry, how about the abstentions?
Any abstentions? No.
Hearing none.
You know what? Make it extension, not objection. We really gotta look into this place when they open the doors to see what kind of security and all that stuff they got there.
So you want an abstention, not an objection?
Yeah, extension, yeah. So we can further look
Okay.
at this more.
Okay, so there's no objections, there's one abstention.
Correct.
Okay.
Which is
and,
actually no, isn't it?
Harry, since you're so interested in this, we will make an inspection in the very near future. If you'd like to come along, you're most welcome.
Absolutely. Just let me know when and I'll be there with bells and whistles.
Quick question, guys. Would you like me to try to invite them for, I mean,
For the full board?
no, because at football, it's not going to be enough time.
Oh, okay.
But for the next economic development meeting, if they can come, at least they can show us their plans. And
That's a
meanwhile-
great idea.
And meanwhile,
like
at
that
least
idea.
they can fill up our questionnaire, so at least we can be aware of it.
Okay, let's do that. It's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
So the motion is to invite them to our next meeting.
No, you don't have to make a motion for that.
You don't?
No.
Okay, we'll just do it. Okay.
The next one is the Chipotle,
Chipotle Mexican Grill,
1776 East Chester Road.
Easter Road. They want wine, beer, and cider.
So we received it yesterday, and from my understanding, the Chipotle is gonna be inside the atrium at the hotel in Waters Place.
Basically in the Waters
Oh.
Place thing where the Dunkin' Donuts and the LA Fitness is.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Howard has an East Chester Road address. Don't know. Me and Bob were discussing this earlier, and that's why Cindy, Bob, and I were wandering on Google earlier, which is what you saw us doing.
So what's your impression of this location for this particular business?
Me?
Yeah, you were discussing it.
Well, we were discussing more how is
Bob.
it East Chester Road, but I've been to other Chipotles and they have the beer, wine, cider, and there's never an issue with that. It's just so they can sell,
Mhm.
the beer, wine, and cider type of stuff, which
Okay, how about you, Bob?
I went to the site today
Yeah,
and there's nothing there. I spoke to one of the store owners who says, no, we haven't seen them. They won't be here for at least 6 months.
okay.
All right, so my suggestion, having done this before, would be to write a letter to Chipotle and have them lay this over to the next month, since you got it only yesterday, lay it over and ask that someone from Chipotle come in to discuss it.
That's a good idea.
So let's do the same thing we did for
Okay.
Applebee's at the same location, if you remember, guys. About
Okay.
5-6 years ago, Applebee's open over there too. So they brought, it was somebody from the headquarters. Then after that, also within the team that they came about 4 or 5 people. And it was somebody from headquarters. It was the manager that will manage the site, and were about 2 or 3 other supervisors in that matter. So if you want, we can try to contact them tomorrow. I can try to contact them, so it's going to be 2 of them. But you can table this one, like Bob said. I'm sorry, like Mr. Press said, if I can say it that way. We
okay.
received it yesterday, so we have enough time for them to show up for the next
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay.
Next meeting, I would say.
Yeah,
So
next
the
meeting.
motion
That's what I
is-
said.
At,
So
at
the
least, at least,
table
at least you don't have to worry about them being open till 4 o'clock in the morning having a band.
Okay, we have no reason to deny this.
Let's
So the
table it.
motion-
Joe, put a motion to table
Motion
it,
is to
please.
table it.
Well, we could table it. When did we receive this?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay, let's table it to the next meeting and invite them.
Gotta
Yeah.
vote on it.
And
That'll be the best way.
yeah, so that's the motion. We'll table this
Second.
Yeah.
and
Who's gonna
invite them at our next meeting.
Who's gonna second it?
Second,
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
second it.
Second it.
And it's Joanne again.
Okay,
third it.
Veronica, you want to second it?
I'll second this one.
Okay.
Veronica. Okay, so that motion passes.
Oh, hold on. Any objection?
Any
Any
abstentions?
any abstention? Okay, the motion is to table it.
All on board. It's a beautiful shade of red. Okay, do we have any old business? Any motions? Any new business?
Do we have
Okay,
anybody for the gallery? Hey,
Oh, this includes everybody, sure.
okay.
Malcolm's raised his hand.
Well,
Hello. Hey,
go ahead,
how you doing?
Malcolm.
I'm doing well. How you guys doing? Yeah, so I'm just talking because I was walking over on White Plains Road the other day near the Pelham Parkway section where like the White Plains Road bid is at. And like I was looking at it, it kind of got my attention because there was a shooting there recently. But like it just looks like the area in regards to the businesses just isn't maintained properly. Like, there's like a lot of graffiti on the stores, a lot of loitering around, vendors on the sidewalk. It looks like the type of area that's kind of inviting of the actions that's been occurring there recently. And I just wanted to know, like, is there anything that, this committee is doing to like, I don't know, to speak to the bit over there so they get them more involved in the community, just to clean it up a little bit and make it look like an actual business area.
Okay, so we
Malcolm,
as an office, we can put the enforcement because we get almost every day we get a phone call from sanitation enforcement, at least for the keeping clean in front of the office and so, I'm sorry, in front of the establishment. When it comes to about street vendors, we have no saying whatsoever because since, as you might know, since the last administration, last mayor gave green light, to everybody to go over there, especially the ones that are veterans, to bring out, you don't have to have a license to bring out a table and you start selling miscellaneous things.
Well, I'm sorry, but actually, just recently, the Department of Sanitation reopened up their Consumers Affairs division. So like now you can now reach out to them actually and report certain vendors or report them to the walkthrough and question certain vendors and have them removed. I'm just saying that just in the sense that the area does not look like how it used to look 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
I agree
And
with you there.
it looks entirely different.
Terrible.
And
Again, like I said, since the last administration, green light was given to the vendors.
I know, Chris, I understand what you're saying. Like I work for a bit, so I know what you're saying, right? But what I'm telling you is that they just reopened a new division with the Department of Sanitation.
I know, they call every
enforcement.
morning.
Yeah, for enforcement, right?
And that's what we give. That's what we give. Let me give you the hot points that we give them. White Plains bid, starting from Moran Place all the way up to Alderton Avenue. Home Depot area. We give Williamsbridge Road right in front of the school, PS 96, which is a hot area too because it's a lot of loitering, like you say, and a lot of things. So these are the hot spots that we give them almost every day to them, for them to patrol and they to issue fines. But you gotta understand, you're gonna issue only one fine per day, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, no, they changed up a lot of it recently, but that's besides the point. What I'm just saying is that it looks like the way that things are being handled over there looks like it could interfere with economic activity and also along with the quality of life in the area. So I don't know if we're able to reach out to that bid and just speak to them about cleaning it up a little bit, like getting the graffiti off the walls, graffiti off the business gates, graffiti off the businesses, and just being more involved in the community in itself. That's what I'm saying.
Joe Thompson used to be the director of that bid. He can tell you more details. When he was around, that area was wonderful. But once the gentleman let it go, things changed a lot.
We could make sure that, and there weren't many vendors, but they were legitimate vendors. They had neat stations. They were licensed by the city. But because of the new administration, these people are allowed to sell. What they're doing is hurting, of course, the brick houses. They're hurting the businesses because the businesses have to pay water tax and rents, and they have to pay so much more money. So if the guy outside wants to sell a banana for $1, he can sell it for $1, but the guy inside the store, to make the same profit, has to sell it for $2.
But I think what Malcolm's saying isn't not only just the street vendors. He's talking about the graffiti.
Well-
He's talking about the garbage and stuff. It looks like a war zone.
Well, it does, but this is part of sanitation and the police and the city and the city agencies.
So Joe,
But,
what is the bid's role now? I mean, I know with the Morris Park bid, they have, the people collecting garbage and all that. What is the bid's role that maybe that they can help?
Well, the bid itself has a cleaner.
Right.
And,
Why aren't they cleaning?
well, they are. But
In the White Plains bid, they're cleaning?
Yeah,
Are you,
yeah, they are. But there's only one person that's doing the cleaning. And by the time he gets to the end of the strip,
Huh.
he's got to go back and do it again. We do have a big problem on White Plains Road. White Plains Road is being ravaged. Not only with the garbage, but with the rats. And we have vendors, we have a vendor that's out there selling tacos and things like that. And he's got his truck, it's right next to the sewage. They came, they looked at it, there were tons of rats in that sewer. Because that grease goes in from the truck, goes into the sewer. And it's been looked at, and the city is not reacting to it.
So with this new rat czar, is there any way the community board can reach out to them to then maybe hotspot that? Because
Well,
if you got Rat Central over there,
Well, they've done it, they've cleaned it, but
yeah,
unfortunately.
but you got a new rat czar that was
he's
appointed.
coming back. Yeah, but the bid has to get involved in that.
I think that's Malcolm's point.
Exactly, that's Malcolm's point. How can we as a community board make sure that the current White Plains bid does something to address the situation that's there and
We'd have to
How
talk to
did-
the board. We'd have to talk to the bid board. And they have a city representative that sits in when they meet. And I know what 5, 6, 7 years ago or so, when I was doing the bid, that's what we had to do. And that's what they have to do.
Can we invite the bid to our next
Can we
meeting?
make a motion to
We
send
can
a
make
letter
motion,
to the White
definitely.
Plains bid
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
basically clean up the rat?
Well-
Well,
clean
let,
up.
let me tell you something. I remember based on my experience, Joe, you can speak because you were the director. I was many times invited. Jeremy was many times invited. John Frada was many times invited, at least twice a year. I'm saying minimum twice a year when it was the meeting with the board and you were present over there inviting us representing the board. Since you left, and I don't know how many years is already, about 5 years, Joe, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 5 years, we never had an invitation from them to be part of that meeting because that meeting is closed to the public. But to my understanding, if I'm not wrong, but we never were invited. And we don't know even who's the director of that.
Well, I know who the director is, and you're absolutely right, because I used to sit on the White Plains Road bid board before I was a director. And I sat there for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. They were progressive. But the problem with White Plains Road is you don't really have leadership. You don't have owners. You have corporations that represent the owners. The owners are in Florida. And that's why it's very, very difficult. But I think that writing the letter is a good idea, informing them that the only way we can clean this place up and get rid of the animals is to contact the city and make sure the city agencies, sanitation, the mayor's office, make sure they're all aware of what's going on. And that has to come from the bid. The bid has to make this request. We can make the request. They have to make the request.
The elected officials have to get involved. I remember when Jimmy Vaca was around, I mean, he really got involved when it comes to that matter. So the council person that covers that area, they have to be more involved into this. I mean, because it's different when the council person gets in there and requests that, you know, she has a meeting with the board and they can sit down, because you're going to be, if it comes from for an elected official, it's going to be a little bit more like, I should say, iron fist put into it.
Right.
So when an elected official is going to come and sit down and say, hey, listen, I mean, it's been for more than 5 years. We understand whatever happened with the COVID, because nowadays everything is blamed to the COVID. COVID is gone. They can put a little bit of pressure on the bid and see what they can do. Like they can step up.
Well, you know, the
That's
bid gets
definitely an
plenty of
avenue.
funding from the city, and the bid, you know, the chair, whatever he is, the president, he gets a good salary, and maybe they're just not spending the money correctly, and that could be
There
looked
should
into.
there should definitely be more than one cleaner. Because I know the Morris Park bid, they got a few cleaners. So
Morris
to
Park
say
is bigger, they have more money, and that's a big difference. But yeah, I mean, I would get the political people involved.
who's the council person for that jurisdiction? Is that still Marjorie?
Yeah.
So we got to get Marjorie and see if we can make some kind of an arrangement where Marjorie can come in when they have their board meetings. Because you always have a representative from the city that's sitting in on the meeting. Now we get Marjorie to sit in on the board meeting and have these things exposed. And we'll go to the meeting also and tell them what people are complaining about and what are they going to do about it. So I think we should really reach out to Marjorie and the board, the White Plains Road Board, and have a sit down. So I
So
make a
is there a
motion.
Great idea.
Is there a motion then, Joe? You're going to make a motion to
Yeah.
send a letter to the White Plains Road bid to see how the bid can help improve the area? Kind of, would that be a motion?
And that's a motion, and also with that motion to the representative, Marjorie.
But would that be in the, yeah? And to,
Before we make a motion, my suggestion is it possible that we can facilitate a meeting between the chair of economic development, district manager, community board 11, the elected official, which in this case is Ms. Velasquez, and the director of the bid, facilitated by the elected official. So at least we can do the first step. By doing the first step, at least we can see from the moment that the meeting occurs to whatever they're going to come in agreement with, and see how the thing's going to develop. Because if we write already a letter to the bid, okay, the bid's going to say okay. But it's different when the elected official is involved and a meeting occurs face to face.
so I guess we would have to make a meeting. Okay.
It has
So
to
no,
be,
so no motion.
I mean, we can
So
contact.
the motion for a meeting.
Yeah, the motions, we do have a meeting. And I would imagine that the two principal people here would be Marjorie and the director of the bid.
Right,
So
but you
the
can make a
motion-
motion, you can request it from the city council to make the contact first. I mean, the chief of staff from city council, I mean, from the councilwoman's office can make the contact and see what's gonna be the reaction. Because you might make the motion, okay, the motion passes. It's gonna be voted full board. Then what? You're
Well,
gonna send
we
a
could
motion to the city council, say, hey, we passed the motion that you guys have to have a meeting? Come on, guys. Phone call needs
No.
to be done to the city, to the elected official. Let them do the first step, make the contact with the director of the bid. Have a sit down, hopefully they will agree, because they might say no if they decide to. But in this case, since you say, and it is true, that they receive funds from the city, they're gonna budge, they're gonna say, okay, let's have a sit down. So let's have a sit down, Joe can be present, Jeremy can be present, I can be present if they want me to be there. Then somebody or the elected official herself, she can be present, the director, and can bring out what are the issues, starting from graffiti, maintaining the street cleanliness, the vendors over there, and so on and so forth.
So we don't have to have a motion.
You don't need to have a motion for everything
Okay.
that you
We'll
guys
just-
discuss.
Okay, so we're just That's what we're gonna do in the future, is to get
You just
a
put in the
meeting
minutes that
together.
you suggest, yeah, you put in the minutes that you suggest to have a meeting to facilitate a meeting between the bid director and the city council.
Okay,
Well, you also need, the president of the board. The
right,
wife
the
of
director,
Chairwoman, she can come too, of course.
Okay, so it would be the chairperson,
But
it would be
the
our
most
elected
important is,
official.
the most important thing is you, Joe, to be present. You know why? Because you have the background, meaning that you used to be the director of that bid. So you know the thing in and out.
Yeah, and I know them all anyway, so.
That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, you're the most important person to be in that meeting compared, even including me, because we have it from the outside. We know what's going on from the outside, whatever we see. Meanwhile, you know everything in and out.
Well, I think we've all seen it.
No,
But
I agree,
let's
but
get
you
that.
know how the bid works, meaning that when the person on the other side starts saying things that we probably are not aware of, right then and there you can correct him, whoever it is, because
Yeah.
you have the experience.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would be part of that meeting. But let's start the ball rolling. Let's start getting it done. And getting these getting a location.
I'm gonna speak with Jeremy tomorrow. And meanwhile, tomorrow also, don't forget, it's gonna be the leadership meeting. So you, as a chair of economic development, you can bring it up as a new business under the leadership meeting. So all the heads of the committees can be there, the chairperson can be there, the vice chair can be there, and the district manager can be present.
Okay.
So once you bring all the issues over there, right then and there, you guys can make a determination what's gonna be the next step. That's how I
good.
would have done it.
Sounds good.
thanks a lot, Chris. And thanks, Malcolm, for bringing it up.
No problem. Just doing my role.
Okay, is there anything else that anybody has? Okay, then I make a motion that we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye, aye.
Okay.
Good night.
time is it?
Have a good night, everybody.
But by the way, Joe, I'm gonna be tomorrow at the meeting also, so if you forget, I'll bring it up.
Okay, no.
You got it.
Wonderful. What time is it now? Let's
Thanks,
see.
Liz.
It is
It's 8:39.
8:39. Do you remember when we started? Do you remember when we pressed the record button?
7:30.
It was around
7:30. Okay, great. So
7:35.
we started on time. Okay, great. Okay,
Well, it was like
fantastic.
7:35 when we started the recording, I believe.
7:35. Perfect. Okay.
Good night, guys. Have a great night.
Good night. You.
Good
Thank you
night,
for everybody
Thanks for
for
your help.
Good night.
participating. Great meeting.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay. Bye, Joe. See you soon.
Let's see. It's a good meeting. Since you like to come, why don't you join the committee?
That's